Welcome back to our chilling series exploring the haunted corners of the Grand Canyon State, where history and horror intertwine in ways that defy explanation. In this fifth installment of Most Haunted Places in Arizona, we delve deeper into the shadows cast by ghostly legends, uncovering tales so spine-tingling they'll leave you questioning the boundaries between the living and the dead. From sun-scorched deserts to abandoned mining towns frozen in time, Arizona is a treasure trove of spectral stories rooted in tragedy, betrayal, and unrelenting sorrow. Arizona's haunted places are more than just locations. They're vessels carrying the echoes of lives lived and lost. These sites bear witness to events that continue to reverberate through time: frontier feuds, unsolved murders, and the lingering presence of those who refuse to move on. Each place holds its own dark secrets, whispered through creaking floorboards, flickering lights, and disembodied voices that drift through empty halls. Whether you're drawn by morbid curiosity or an insatiable thirst for the supernatural, these destinations promise encounters that blur the line between reality and nightmare. In this episode, we'll journey to some of the most infamous haunted locales across Arizona, places steeped in lore and fear, where the past refuses to stay buried. We'll peer into the shadowy depths of haunted hotels, explore eerie mansions cloaked in mystery, and tread cautiously through abandoned institutions teeming with restless spirits. Along the way, we'll hear first-hand accounts from witnesses brave enough to confront the unknown, examine chilling evidence captured by paranormal investigators, and unravel the tragic histories that give rise to these hauntings. So dim the lights, keep your ears sharp, and prepare yourself for a descent into the macabre. As we step into the haunted heart of Arizona, remember, sometimes, the most terrifying truths lie just beyond the veil, and once you cross it, there's no turning back. The Jerome Grand Hotel, a ghostly grandeur in the mountains perched high in the rugged hills of Jerome, Arizona. The Jerome Grand Hotel stands as a monument to both luxury and despair, a grand structure whose opulent facade conceals decades of tragedy and supernatural activity. Originally built in 1926 as the United Verde Hospital, the building served as a medical facility for miners and their families until its closure in 1950. After years of neglect, it was transformed into a hotel in the 1990s, reopening its doors to guests eager to experience its storied past. With its sweeping staircases, panoramic views of the Verde Valley, and rich history, the Jerome Grand epitomizes elegance and sophistication. Yet beneath its polished exterior lies a darker narrative, one marked by illness, accidents, and untimely deaths. One of the most enduring legends tied to the Jerome Grand revolves around Room 328, said to be haunted by the spirit of a young girl named Daisy. According to local lore, Daisy fell ill during her stay at the hospital and passed away despite the efforts of doctors and nurses. Her playful energy, however, seems to have remained behind, delighting and unnerving guests alike. Visitors staying in room 328 frequently report strange occurrences: toys moving inexplicably, laughter echoing through the halls, and the faint scent of lavender lingering in the air. Some claim to wake up in the middle of the night to find their bedsheets gently tugged, as if a child is playing peek-boo beneath them. Another prominent figure in the hotel's haunted lore is believed to be Dr. James Purcell, the hospital's head physician during its operational years. Paranormal investigators exploring the property have captured EVP recordings suggesting the presence of a male entity whispering phrases like, "Help me," and "I can't leave." Witnesses described seeing a shadowy figure resembling Dr. Purcell pacing anxiously near windows, clutching what appears to be a clipboard before vanishing without a trace. Employees tasked with cleaning the area often describe hearing muffled voices and the sound of footsteps echoing through the cavernous space, though no one else is present. The hotel's basement, once used for storage and morgue operations, has become a focal point of paranormal activity. Employees tasked with maintaining the area describe hearing chains rattling and heavy footsteps echoing through the narrow passageways, though no one else is present. Objects are known to move inexplicably. Tools vanish only to reappear hours later in entirely different locations. One particularly chilling account comes from a maintenance worker who swore he felt cold metal cuffs snap around his wrists, pulling him backward toward the darkness before releasing him abruptly. Overnight visitors to the Jerome Grand Hotel frequently recount bizarre experiences that defy logical explanation. Lights flicker unpredictably, especially in hallways leading to the older sections of the building. Doors slam shut on their own, and the scent of antiseptic wafts through the air despite the hotel's modern renovations. One guest described waking up to find his reflection in the mirror staring back at him, but not quite matching his movements, as if another entity stood behind him, mimicking his actions. Another recounted seeing a man in a dusty miner's outfit standing at the foot of her bed, his hollow eyes boring into hers before vanishing without a sound. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Jerome Grand Hotel remains a popular destination for history enthusiasts and thrill-seekers alike. Its rich tapestry of human drama, interwoven with tragedy and loss, creates an atmosphere unlike any other. For those brave enough to book a stay, the possibility of encountering Daisy, Dr. Purcell, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Yet, as each new visitor crosses its threshold, they must decide whether they are ready to face the darkness that lingers within these walls, or will they become another chapter in the hotel's tragic tale? The Vulture Mine. Shadows beneath the desert sun nestled deep in the arid expanse of Wickenburg, Arizona. The Vulture Mine stands as a haunting testament to the boom and bust cycle of the Old West. Once one of the richest gold mines in the state, operating from 1863 to 1942, the Vulture Mine produced over $200 million worth of gold and silver. Its labyrinthine tunnels and weathered structures evoke a sense of rugged adventure, yet beneath its sun-baked surface lies a darker narrative, one steeped in greed, violence, and spectral encounters. Today, the mine is considered one of Arizona's most haunted sites, its grounds said to be prowled by the tormented spirits of miners, outlaws, and victims of frontier justice. One of the most pervasive legends tied to the Vulture Mine involves the Hanging Tree, a gnarled mesquite tree located near the entrance. Historical records indicate that the tree was used to execute suspected thieves and troublemakers during the mine's heyday. Decades later, visitors exploring the site have reported seeing shadowy figures dangling from the branches, their forms flickering in and out of sight. Others describe hearing faint cries and the creak of ropes stretching under weight, even though no physical evidence of a hanging remains. One particularly chilling account comes from a tourist who swore he saw a man in tattered clothing swinging gently from the tree, only for the apparition to vanish when approached. Another haunting figure associated with the Vulture Mine is believed to be Henry Wickenburg, the mine's original discoverer. According to local lore, Wickenburg faced financial ruin after selling his stake in the mine and was later found dead under mysterious circumstances, ruled a suicide by gunshot. Many believe his restless spirit still roams the property, searching for answers or revenge. Visitors report seeing a gaunt man in a wide-brimmed hat wandering the grounds, his expression frozen in eternal anguish. Others describe hearing faint whispers pleading for help, interspersed with anguished cries. The mine's underground tunnels, once bustling with activity, have also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Historical accounts detail numerous accidents and collapses that claimed the lives of miners, leaving behind a legacy of tragedy. Modern-day explorers recount eerie encounters along the shafts, including sudden drops in temperature and the sensation of being watched. Shadows flit across peripheral vision, disappearing when directly observed. Some claim to see apparitions of men in tattered clothing, their faces gaunt and weary, working tirelessly even in death. Others report hearing the distant clink of pickaxes against rock and the low murmur of conversation, as though a shift from another era continues to unfold. Paranormal investigators exploring the Vulture Mine have documented numerous instances of unexplained phenomena. EMF detectors routinely spike in certain areas, particularly near the hanging tree and the main shaft. EVP recordings capture fragmented sentences like, "Run," and "They're coming," delivered in tones of sheer desperation. One investigator captured a chilling photograph of a translucent figure standing atop the rocks, its hands raised as if begging for mercy. These findings have solidified the Vulture Mine's reputation as one of Arizona's most active haunted sites. The Hotel San Carlos, elegance entangled with the supernatural in the heart of downtown Phoenix, where the vibrant energy of city life meets the historic charm of early 20th century architecture, stands the Hotel San Carlos, a beacon of refined elegance with a haunting legacy that dates back nearly a century. Established in 1928, the hotel quickly became a hub for travelers, celebrities, and socialites seeking luxury amidst the burgeoning desert metropolis. Its stately courtyards, hand-carved wooden furnishings, and lush gardens evoke a sense of timeless grace, yet beneath its polished veneer lies a darker history steeped in tragedy, betrayal, and spectral encounters. One of the most iconic hauntings associated with the Hotel San Carlos is that of Leone Jensen, a young woman whose story has become synonymous with the structure's haunted reputation. According to historical accounts, Leone checked into the hotel in the late 1920s but tragically leapt to her death from the rooftop shortly thereafter. Locals believe her ghost haunts room 414, where she reportedly spent her final days. Guests and staff alike report seeing a woman in a flowing evening gown gliding silently through the corridors, her translucent form illuminated by dim light. Some claim to feel an icy draft pass through them as she drifts by, while others report hearing soft sobbing emanating from empty rooms, believed to be Leone lamenting her fate. Another prominent figure in the hotel's haunted lore is believed to be none other than Marilyn Monroe, the legendary Hollywood starlet who reportedly stayed at the Hotel San Carlos during her visits to Phoenix. Though not a permanent resident, her larger-than-life personality left an indelible mark on the property. Visitors recount sightings of a tall, striking woman clad in period attire, pacing anxiously near the lobby or sitting alone in the bar. Her presence is often accompanied by the faint clinking of glasses and the smell of perfume, as though she's preparing for one last glamorous event. Some speculate that Monroe lingers due to unfinished business, unable to part ways with the city that played such a pivotal role in her life. The hotel's basement, once used for storage and laundry operations, has also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Employees tasked with maintaining the area describe hearing muffled voices and the sound of footsteps echoing through the narrow passageways, though no one else is present. Objects are known to move inexplicably. Tools vanish only to reappear hours later in entirely different locations. One particularly unnerving incident involved a janitor who swore he saw a young boy playing with marbles in the corner of the room, only for the child to disappear when approached. Theories abound that the boy may have been a victim of illness or accident during the hotel's early years, forever trapped in the confines of its lower levels. Modern-day investigations into the Hotel San Carlos' supernatural claims have yielded intriguing results. Thermal imaging cameras reveal significant temperature drops in specific areas, including the fourth-floor hallway and the basement. Electromagnetic field (EMF) meters register unusual spikes, particularly near antique furniture pieces believed to have belonged to original owners. Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from audio recordings, which capture disembodied voices uttering fragmented sentences like, "I'm sorry," and "Let me go." Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted allure, the Hotel San Carlos continues to draw visitors eager to immerse themselves in its storied past. For those brave enough to book a stay, the opportunity to encounter Leone Jensen, Marilyn Monroe, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Whether you're drawn by the allure of its architectural splendor or the thrill of peeling back the layers of its enigmatic history, the Hotel San Carlos promises an unforgettable experience where the line between the living and the dead blurs, and the echoes of yesterday linger just beyond reach. The Yuma Territorial Prison, echoes of justice denied, perched atop a hill overlooking the Colorado River. The Yuma Territorial Prison stands as a solemn sentinel of law and order, a red brick edifice. Built in 1876 that has witnessed decades of legal battles, political intrigue, and personal vendettas. Its grand columns and towering walls evoke a sense of authority and permanence, yet within its cells lie stories of injustice, corruption, and vengeful spirits unwilling to fade into obscurity. One of the most infamous incidents tied to the prison occurred in 1885, when a group of inmates staged a violent uprising after being denied food and water for several days. Guards responded with brutal force, resulting in multiple deaths and injuries. Since then, visitors exploring the prison report hearing faint moans and cries emanating from the solitary confinement cells. Some claim to see shadowy figures huddled in the corners, their faces obscured by darkness, while others describe feeling an oppressive weight pressing down on them as they approach the door. Another prominent figure in the prison's haunted lore is believed to be Eugene Debs, a prominent labor leader who briefly served time at Yuma Territorial Prison for refusing to comply with court orders during a strike. Paranormal investigators exploring the property have captured EVP recordings suggesting the presence of a male entity whispering phrases like, "Free us," and "We didn't deserve this." Witnesses describe seeing a tall, imposing man clad in period attire pacing anxiously near the cells, his expression frozen in eternal anguish. Some speculate that Debs lingers due to unfinished business, unable to part ways with the institution that symbolized systemic oppression. Adding to the prison's haunted allure are the countless executions that took place within its walls. Many believe residual energy from these events remains trapped within the adobe framework, manifesting as phantom sounds of clanging chains, distant screams, and the metallic clang of cell doors slamming shut. At night, when the prison is bathed in moonlight, some visitors swear they can hear the faint strains of hymns sung by condemned prisoners awaiting their fate. Paranormal investigators exploring the Yuma Territorial Prison have documented numerous instances of unexplained phenomena. EMF detectors routinely spike in certain areas, particularly near the execution chamber and the solitary confinement cells. EVP recordings capture faint whispers pleading for help, interspersed with anguished cries. One investigator captured a chilling photograph of a translucent figure standing motionless at the midpoint of the guard tower before vanishing without explanation. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Yuma Territorial Prison remains a popular destination for tourists and locals alike. Its picturesque setting and rich history make it a favorite spot for photography and leisurely strolls. For those brave enough to venture inside after dark, the promise of encountering Eugene Debs or one of the countless other spirits said to linger adds an element of fascination and trepidation. Yet, as each new visitor steps onto the creaking floorboards, they must ask themselves, are they prepared to face the echoes of the past? Or will they become another chapter in the prison's macabre legacy? As we traverse the haunted landscapes of Arizona, from the opulent halls of the Hotel San Carlos to the somber grounds of the Yuma Territorial Prison, striking similarities emerge that transcend individual locations and histories. These patterns are not merely coincidental but reflect universal themes of human emotion, unresolved trauma, and the enduring power of memory. From the wailing wards of hospitals to the shadowed basements of prisons, these sites share a commonality that binds them together in a spectral sisterhood of sorrow and suspense. One recurring motif is the concept of unfinished business. Whether it's the victims of unethical experiments, or the betrayed trust of patients subjected to inhumane treatments, these spirits seem tethered to the earthly realm by grievances left unaddressed. Their presence manifests as restless energy, often communicated through auditory phenomena, cries, whispers, or disembodied voices, that serve as pleas for acknowledgement or closure. This theme resonates across cultures and belief systems, reflecting humanity's innate need to resolve conflict and seek peace, even in death. Another shared characteristic is the role of architecture in amplifying paranormal activity. Historic buildings, with their labyrinthine corridors, thick walls, and hidden alcoves, create environments conducive to isolating individuals and heightening fear. These structural elements act as metaphors for the psychological barriers erected by those who suffered within their confines, trapping emotions such as anger, despair, and regret. It's no coincidence that many reported hauntings occur in spaces imbued with emotional significance: operating rooms where surgeries went awry, basements where bodies were stored, or wards where patients met tragic ends. Lighting and sensory manipulation also feature prominently in these narratives. Flickering lights, sudden temperature drops, and inexplicable odors are staples of ghostly encounters, designed to disorient and unsettle. Such phenomena strip away the comfort of familiarity, forcing guests to confront the unknown. The use of mirrors, a recurring element in stories from various haunted hospitals, adds another layer of psychological tension, as reflections distort perception and blur the boundary between self and other. This interplay of light and shadow becomes a tool wielded by unseen forces, creating moments of visceral terror that linger long after the initial shock subsides. Finally, the prevalence of historical context cannot be overstated. Each location's haunting is deeply rooted in its unique past, shaped by the socio-cultural milieu of its time. The brutal medical practices embedded in the DNA of older establishments contrast sharply with the glamorous yet tragic lives immortalized in urban legends. Yet both narratives tap into broader archetypes of ambition, betrayal, and mortality, ensuring their resonance with audiences regardless of personal experience. By drawing on these universal motifs, these haunted places transform from mere buildings into living repositories of collective memory, inviting us to peer into the abyss of our shared humanity. Thus, while each establishment boasts its own distinct flavor of fright, the underlying threads connecting them reveal a tapestry rich with meaning. These patterns remind us that the supernatural is not so much about the entities themselves but the stories they tell, the echoes of lives interrupted, passions extinguished, and truths obscured. As we continue to explore these haunted locales, we find ourselves grappling not only with the specters of the past but with the timeless questions they raise about life, death, and everything in between. The psychology of fear. Why haunted places captivate us? What is it about haunted places that grips our imaginations so profoundly? Beyond the creaking floorboards and flickering lights lies a deeper allure, one rooted in the psychology of fear and the human fascination with the unknown. These sites, by their very nature, are places of vulnerability. They are where we confront our mortality, stripped of autonomy and control, relying entirely on the expertise of others to heal us, or where justice was denied, leaving wounds that refuse to heal. When these spaces become haunted, they amplify our primal fears, transforming familiar settings into arenas of existential dread. The combination of historical context, architectural design, and the lingering presence of past suffering creates a perfect storm of terror that resonates deeply within us. The core of this captivation is the concept of liminality, the state of being on the threshold between two worlds. Haunted places exist in this liminal space, bridging life and death, health and illness, hope and despair. This inherent duality makes them fertile ground for supernatural narratives. Ghosts, as manifestations of unresolved trauma or unfinished business, embody the tension of being caught between states. They serve as reminders that the boundaries we construct, between life and afterlife, sanity and madness, are far more permeable than we'd like to believe. For many, visiting a haunted site feels like stepping into a twilight zone where the rules of reality no longer apply, igniting both curiosity and unease. Architecturally, haunted places contribute to this atmosphere of dread through their design. Long, sterile hallways lined with identical doors create a sense of disorientation, while poor lighting and echoing acoustics heighten sensory awareness. These features mimic the psychological effects of anxiety and claustrophobia, making even mundane sounds, a distant cough, the hum of fluorescent lights, feel ominous. The labyrinthine layouts of older structures, with their hidden wings and underground tunnels, evoke feelings of entrapment and uncertainty. Every corner becomes a potential threat, every shadow a possible harbinger of danger. This environmental manipulation taps into our instinctual fight-or-flight response, keeping us perpetually on edge. Cultural influences also play a significant role in shaping our fascination with haunted places. Media representations, from films like The Shining to television series such as American Horror Story, have cemented the trope of the haunted asylum, courthouse, or battlefield as a locus of horror. These portrayals often blend historical truths with fictional embellishments, creating a mythology that blurs fact and fiction. Audiences are drawn to these stories because they reflect societal anxieties about institutional power, systemic injustice, and the fragility of the human mind. Haunted places become microcosms of larger fears, the loss of agency, the misuse of authority, and the haunting specter of mistakes made in the name of progress. Moreover, haunted places appeal to our desire for catharsis. Engaging with these tales allows us to process our own fears about mortality, injustice, and the flaws inherent in systems meant to protect us. By confronting ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena, we externalize internal anxieties, transforming abstract fears into tangible adversaries. This vicarious experience provides a safe outlet for exploring the darker aspects of human existence, offering both thrill and relief. It's no wonder that ghost tours and paranormal investigations of haunted places attract participants eager to test their courage against the unknown. Ultimately, the enduring allure of haunted places lies in their ability to mirror our deepest fears while challenging our understanding of reality. They remind us that the past is never truly buried, that pain and injustice leave indelible marks on both people and places. As we walk their haunted halls, we are forced to confront not only the spirits said to inhabit them but also the ghosts within ourselves, the regrets, doubts, and unanswered questions that linger long after the wounds have healed. In doing so, we find a strange comfort in knowing that we are not alone in our fears, that others have walked these same paths and emerged, shaken but alive, to tell their stories. As we bring this chilling journey through Arizona's most haunted places to a close, one thing becomes abundantly clear: the spirits of the past refuse to be silenced. Each creaking floorboard, each whispered name, and each fleeting shadow serves as a testament to lives lived, lost, and lingering in the spaces we dare to call haunted. These stories are more than mere campfire tales. They are fragments of history, stitched together by human emotion, tragedy, and the relentless passage of time. They remind us that the line between the living and the dead is far thinner than we might believe, and that sometimes, the most terrifying truths lie just beyond the veil. But why stop here? If these accounts have stirred something within you, a spark of curiosity, a shiver of excitement, I urge you to take the next step. Visit one of Arizona's haunted places yourself. Walk the same halls where spirits are said to roam, stand in the rooms where history's echoes reverberate, and let the unknown brush against your senses. Whether you're a skeptic seeking proof or a believer eager to commune with the other side, these forsaken institutions offer an unparalleled opportunity to confront the mysteries that lie just beyond comprehension. There's nothing quite like experiencing the weight of decades-old despair firsthand, feeling the chill of a presence that defies explanation, or hearing the faint strains of voices from another time. And when you return, share your story. Did you feel the icy touch of a ghostly hand? Hear the faint tap of footsteps in an empty corridor? Or perhaps nothing happened at all, but isn't that silence just as intriguing? Your experiences add to the rich tapestry of lore surrounding these haunted places, ensuring their legacies endure for generations to come. Share your findings with fellow enthusiasts, document your journey, and keep the conversation alive. After all, every whisper contributes to the symphony of the supernatural. Until then, keep your lanterns lit and your courage steady. The spirits are waiting.